Now it is time for the third panel discussion of the day, which is an exciting topic discussing the launching of a new challenge for the TIP Summit 2021. PropTech Disruptive Model in Real Estate, and it will be moderated by Mr. Ahmed Abdulwahab, the Chief Executive Officer of Next Arabia, ladies and gentlemen. Now,
hello! Thank you, Assalamu alaikum.
I really appreciate the energy drink you're sponsored by. I'd love to share into some of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the participating authorities, of course, are Mr. Ramesh Jagannathan, the Managing Director of Start Abu Dhabi, and Dr. Yasser Khalil Salman, the Chief Executive Officer of Global 99 Investments. Another round of applause. And Mr. Sameh Ali, the Director of SMES. With that, ladies and gentlemen, the panel on the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Please sit down. Hello, Abu Dhabi. Hello. 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 Okay, we are here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Like many other industries, the real estate industry is going through tremendous digital transformation. Tremendous digital transformation. The current players are now looking for new ways to, number one, look for alternative investments models. Number two, look for new business models. Number three, look for new ways to optimize costs and as well new ways to generate more revenues. So this panel is going to provide us some insights about what PropTech is and also opportunities and challenges that are associated with. But first, before we start, if you have a question, you don't have to wait until the end. Just raise your hand and I might call you up. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. You're more than welcome to ask a question. We want to make it as engaging as possible. Let's start with you, Dr. Yasser. If you could briefly introduce yourself and give us a quick understanding of, after you introduce yourself, what are the current challenges in the real estate industry from an investor's point of view?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for your coming, and I appreciate this opportunity, Mr. Ahmed. My name is Dr. Yasser Salman. I'm the CEO of Global 99 Property Investment. We are a kind of international company, investment in the property sector. Our head office is in London. We call it engine office in Abu Dhabi, and if someone wants to ask why engine office, we can answer this after this session because of the time lapse. Our another regional office is in Business Bay in Dubai. That's the introduction.
Just what are from your perspective, from an investor's perspective as an investment firm in real estate, what are the current challenges that the industry has from an investor's point of view? What are the industry challenges?
Challenges for investors are a lot, especially in this market, in UAE market, because internationally we face that when we talk to our clients, investors. This market, honestly speaking, is not discovered yet. So the opportunity is big and huge. When we say UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, always think about tourism, services, highest building. But there are factors that are very, very important. No one look into the security, national security, individual security. This city, Abu Dhabi, is the safest city in the world. And UAE is the second safe country in the world. We talk about now challenges. The challenge is always linked between, I always call it or characterize it into four main characteristics. Number one is the transparency, always say it, versus the risk. So wherever you have high transparency, always you have low risk to the investors, and vice versa. The second point is the price versus the value. Always people and challenges telling me, Mr. Developer, how much your price per square foot, This is the language we talk in we hear it in the market. For example, developer X say my square foot is 1,000, the other one says 1,200, then okay, this is cheaper, I'll go for that one. This is not the case. We always talk to our investors, we tell them there are tools we have, our role is to educate them. Where is the value for that price? The other factor, the third one, which is the fund availability versus the promised completion date by the developer. And always developers, they think people coming with cash rich, but this is not the case always. Some or majority of the investors, they just borrowed money from the banks, and that borrowing has a price. So when he borrowed that fund and that capital, is always linked with and depending on the promised completion date of the developer, which he will tell him, for example, 2 years, then we'll end up with 3 years or 4 years, and that time lapse and that delay, it will cost the investors a huge levies and interest for that capital. The last and the fourth point, which is the ROI, which is, I'm sure, a lot of all the investors, they are after that, versus ROI versus the opportunity. It's not all glitter things are gold, as they say. You have to look for the opportunity. And the opportunity here linked with the ROI. I believe these are the most fundamental challenges our investors, they face in this market.
Thank you very much. Sameh, if you could briefly, please, we're going to do, instead of clockwise, we're going to do tawaf, okay? Go this way. So if you could briefly introduce yourself, and for you, similar question, but from a different point of view. If you could introduce yourself and give us a quick download of what are the biggest challenges that you face as in the real estate industry from a developer's point of view. We understood from an investor's point of view, and now from a developer's point of view.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for the amazing summit that we are in here. My name is Sameh. I have more than 12 years experience in real estate in pioneer companies in Dubai and UAE. And I have moved to technology part, which consolidating and collaborating the technology with the real estate. And basically, it is the PropTech. To answer the question of the challenges which I think face the developers in real estate, I would build on Dr. Yasser's comments and observations about the challenges in developers. On what he said for the investors, I would take it further from the developer's perspective, and I would say, yes, the challenges of the cost is a challenge. From developers' perspective, yes, the material and lands acquisitions and the building materials itself, all of these are challenges, which if it will be solved by a technology side, definitely it will add a lot of value and will help to reduce the costs, and at the end user and the whole market will be benefit out of it. So we're talking about the cost and talking about exposing ourselves to new markets. Definitely with technology, we will be able to access all the market globally, not just locally. So it will be very easy to using the technology and PropTech for selling and reducing our costs.
Excellent, thank you. So now we understood the challenges from an in the real estate from an investor's point of view and from a developer's point of view. Let's just take a step back and learn what PropTech is, and then we're going to try to merge both. Dr. Ramesh, if you could briefly introduce yourself and explain us what actually is PropTech and what are the current trends in PropTech?
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for the invitation, and an honor to be in the presence of these esteemed guests. My name is Ramesh Jagannathan. I hold a few different positions at New York University, Abu Dhabi. I'm a professor in the engineering division. I was one of the founding faculty members here in 2010. I'm also the vice provost for innovation and entrepreneurship for the university. About 3.5 years ago, with a significant grant from Tom Keene, created Start AD, and the goal, and I'm the managing director of Start AD. Start AD's goal is to help build a national and the regional ecosystem as we transform from oil to knowledge economy. So that's, in a short summary, that's what I do. PropTech. PropTech is real estate here meet AI and technology and the latest advances, right? So that's basically the combination of that. That marriage is the result, is called PropTech. And why PropTech? PropTech, the real estate market, is actually the biggest asset class in the world globally. It's about $230 trillion. And it has been slow to adopt the changes in the advances in technology for a lot of reasons, but that's all changing right now because in 2012, the artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning technologies broke through from the universities to come into the hands of the startups. So it's actually galloping at a very high speed. And so the the goal for PropTech in 2012, just before these changes in AI, the investment was around $12 billion globally. But right now, in 2019, it's about $18 billion, and it is actually increasing exponentially. That should sort of, tell you how interested, people are in adapting this change and being part of the, PropTech technology change. I agree with you that UAE and Abu Dhabi are a hidden jewel in this respect in the world. In terms of technology and innovation, entrepreneurship, and so on. Because a lot of people, the fact that we are actually not burdened by legacy makes us very agile and adapt to new change and lead the world. So in terms of, to come back to you and answer what the three, there are 3 points I would like to make in terms of PropTech that are important. One, the concept of property is getting disrupted. It's more, property is a service rather than, a commodity or a product that you own or rent. Okay, that's what technology is enabling us to do. So I'll come back and explain to you a little bit about what that means. And secondly, big data, right? We all know, that smart homes is something that we can understand and things are happening, right? For example, about 50 years ago, in the Western world, homes were getting piped in electricity, water, and gas, and so on. Now we are piped in data and the cloud service and all that. And what is the impact of that, of the big data? But the third thing is construction sector is also one huge industry in that respect, which has been a little bit slow to adapt, but it's a huge industry. And there's a lot of, people are very familiar with the fact that construction delays are really significant. It actually takes twice as long, and there's a lot of waste. So technology can actually create some huge advantages in that space.
Excellent. Anybody have a question? Just raise your hand, please. Dr. Yasser, so we understood what the challenges that we have in real estate from an investor's point of view. And we also learned what is actually PropTech, what value in general PropTech could do. So what does it mean for you as an investor? So how can PropTech startups add value in the real estate from an investor's point of view? So you mentioned the key pain points in the market, but how can it actually provide value for you?
The key point, as you call it, it's the transparency versus the risk. So as I call it earlier, where you increase by the developer, with my due respect to all developers, but the legitimate, I'm going to call it, goal for them is to sell. So the investors or the client, call it what you call it, when he wants to buy from the developer, every developer will say, I'm the best. So go to next one, he will tell you, I'm the best.
Is that correct?
Absolutely.
and I said, this is legitimate. I said, this is a legitimate goal for him is to sell.
Yeah.
But we want to, without having here the expertise will work. And it's not a matter you as an investor, you gut feeling told you to buy or to choose this developer, not that one. There are criteria we are telling our clients, there are criteria to make you, to minimize the risk by increasing the transparency with the developers. So now, as you call it, your question now, where is the PropTech? What to do? The PropTech here now, the PropTech itself, we are going to make a kind of records a kind of register of what are the material we are going to use inside your wall, what kind of insulation, the U value, the insulation system, the smart homes, as you call it, Dr. Ramesh. All these stuff, these will add value. So the PropTech will increase that value by adding value to the property. At the same time, will decrease what? The future cost, the running cost, the maintenance cost. All these stuff to be in consideration. So now the main question when it comes to say how much your Mr. Developer per square foot you are selling your property, it's not applicable anymore. Now we will look into the price versus the value. Then from there we need a kind of regulations from the government to help and to butt into the market.
Excellent. And what about from a developer's point of view? How can PropTech actually can add value?
Yeah, definitely. From developers' perspective, I understand the pain of the investors and the whole entire market for the quality and the price and sustainability of the price and fluctuation sometimes. But I would like to add, like, all these factors definitely can be achieved, and all these challenges can be solved, which are the ideas, the new innovation, the new technology that everyone is looking for. As an example, if we are taking the construction, like Dr. Ramesh and Dr. Yasser was talking about, the construction itself is one of the main phases of the real estate, and before selling, before the cost, to consider it in the cost cycle. So the material itself, if there are, we are hearing every day a new innovation and new ideas about new materials to be used, which are more efficient and less cost. All of this definitely will help in the overall selling price and adding value to the real estate or to the property itself. If we look at the sustainability, if we look at the smart cities, which all of us are looking for, smart homes, all of this developer and investor and the whole market is looking for achieving such real, not just smart, brilliant cities and brilliant homes and smart homes. All of us, we know about Alexa and Amazon, which is...
Is Alexa PropTech?
Definitely.
Airbnb PropTech?
Definitely. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. To follow up on that, Dr. Ramesh, we've heard about what the industry is looking from an investor perspective, developer perspective. What is Start AD doing to serve the need? In other words, what are the activities that Start AD provide in PropTech and real estate industry overall?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So before I answer that in a specific manner, I would like to sort of address an important point that you made about transparency, right? And you also talked about, you know, the value proposition, right? So what, to me, PropTech does is that it takes the subjectivity out of it, right? Because you're mostly data-driven, because you can now, because of technology, you can collect reams and reams of data that allows transactions to happen. Blockchain can also have communications to happen in a better way, right? So it de-risks the whole process and actually allows you to make better judgments, right? So that's the first thing, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, how do we, create a process where these technologies, like you said, there are the innovations, how do we incorporate them into specific sectors, in the PropTech sectors, for example, right? So there's a broad umbrella of artificial intelligence and deep learning, and there is construction sector as one, and there are these other sectors in terms of smart cities, smart homes, and so on, right? To me, the key driver here is sustainability, because the more data that you get, you can actually optimize the performance of any particular property and so on, right? So that's very important from an environmental point of view. So at Start AD, what we do is that we work closely with investors, developers, right? And we listen to you and we get you on board with us and understand what your problems are. And working closely with you, we globally research and find and source startups that are actually working on solving your problems, right? And then we bring them under our umbrella in NYUAD and StartAD. And the way we do this is that, for startups, time is money, right? A day in their life is a day, whether they could actually move forward or, or have to pivot. So we create this program called a 10-day Spring Acceleration Program, which we teach them a particular methodology where they can actually clearly, in a quantifiable way, understand their value proposition. And they do this embedded with the investors and the developers. And based on that, the stakeholders can actually select one or two key startups that they think would add value to them, and they take it from there in the form of paid pilots and so on and exits. That's what we do.
Excellent. What's the website URL? Your URL, just for people who are interested in.
What's that?
StartAD, the URL, if for those who are interested in. They
StartAD?
can go to, yeah. It's www.
Oh, it's just Google StartAD.
That's it. I'm seeing on the left side, I will not look at it anymore on the left side because time is run out of, so I'm not looking at that side anymore. A very quick question to, for you and for you. How do you see the future? Let's say, how does the real estate industry look like in 20, 30 years from now?
That's very important question, actually, because we are running, and the whole train of the whole world is running, and we need to catch it. Actually, we need to lead that train. So basically, the new ideas and the new innovations and the startups and the collaboration between the investors and the incubators and the developers, all of it, collaboration should be under one umbrella. Not just as one platform, but as one, like all of us, we should sit in a room and talk and address all the pain, and with all the respect and all the respect to each other and listen to each other's pains under the umbrella of definitely the regulation. Without the regulation, without the authorities' regulation, and getting things done, getting things happen, I don't think we can move forward. And definitely in such country like UAE and all of this technology, all of this challenging and all of this encouraging to the technology over here, definitely we can reach somewhere very far, which none of us can imagine.
Excellent, and I'm not looking on the left side. Dr. Yasser, very quick question, two quick questions. What kind of support does the ecosystem actually need in order to be more impactful? Before I ask you the last question, very quickly.
An ecosystem, we can see it here in UAE. This is a well-advanced country, and it is implemented already. But the ecosystem requires more collaboration from the government, partners, municipalities, regulators, and the private sectors as well.
And the last question that I have, Dr. Yasser, for you is, so we talk about PropTech, the opportunities and also the challenges. Let's try to solve it, yeah? So what can we do to organize PropTech challenges in Abu Dhabi?
Again, very good question. I'm going to answer it in two sections.
Okay.
Section A. From this platform, I will invite Abu Dhabi government to be, or to lead the world, and to announce what's so-called, I call it, a PropTech standard. I call it PropTech standard. And I invite Abu Dhabi government to announce this and to standardize this standard and implement it into our buildings here in Abu Dhabi or UAE as a country. Then from there, we'll make Abu Dhabi is the platform to lead the worldwide into the real estate market and sector.
Excellent, thank you. That was the point one you said.
That's the first one. The second one is I'll use this platform as Global 99 will announce to be the initiator of the new sector for the PropTech for the TIP 2021.
Whoa, that's a big news.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
that is a big announcement.
I always like to encourage my startups. You asked how do we help the startups. Can I give a plug to one of the successful startups we had?
Absolutely.
In the PropTech area. It's called Design Hubs. And they use the virtual reality and augmented reality technique. And they just have been, have now IKEA as a client. So that's really an amazing success
Excellent.
story.
That's very good. That's very good. Thank
I
you.
would like to thank everybody and the visitors and the speakers, and especially the announcement. As you all know, TIP 20. This is the TIP Summit 2020 with 3 challenges, and you all witnessed the launch of a new sector, which is called TIP PropTech, and we needed an initiator for it, and by Global 99 was very generous to just announce it.
2021 for next year.
2021, mashallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much for being the leader in this segment and taking the forefront. So thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and wish you a good day.